Did you know that winning an Olympic medal once required painting a masterpiece or composing a symphony? Between 1912 and 1948, artists competed alongside athletes for Olympic gold. This is the untold story of when art became an Olympic sport. If you love discovering fascinating historical facts like this, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell so you never miss our next video. The year was 1912 in Stockholm, Sweden, and the Olympic Games were about to change forever. Pierre de Coubertin, the founder of the modern Olympics, had a revolutionary vision. He believed the ancient Greeks celebrated both physical and artistic excellence, and the modern games should do the same. That year, for the first time in modern history, the Olympics introduced competitions in 5 artistic categories: architecture, literature, music, painting, and sculpture. But there was one crucial rule. All works had to be inspired by sport. Imagine walking into an Olympic venue not to watch sprinters or swimmers, but to admire paintings of athletes in motion or listen to symphonies celebrating human achievement. That's exactly what happened. Artists from around the world submitted their works, hoping to stand on the podium alongside the world's greatest athletes. The medals were real Olympic medals, gold, silver, and bronze, just like those awarded in track and field. The first gold medal in the arts was actually won by Pierre de Coubertin himself, though he submitted his work under a pseudonym. His literature piece, titled Ode to Sport, won in the literature category. It was a poetic celebration of athletic achievement, perfectly capturing his vision of uniting art and sport. Some critics later questioned whether the founder should have been judging and competing simultaneously, but the precedent was set. Art was officially an Olympic discipline. Over the next 36 years, hundreds of artists competed. In 1924, a Luxembourg painter named Jean Jacoby won gold for his work depicting rugby players and boxers. He would go on to win again in 1928 and 1936, becoming one of the most decorated Olympic artists in history. Meanwhile, composers created stirring musical pieces celebrating Olympic ideals, architects designed stadiums and sports complexes, and sculptors crafted bronze and marble tributes to athletic prowess. But here's where it gets interesting. The art competitions faced challenges from the very beginning. How do you objectively judge a painting against a symphony? How do you compare a sculpture to an architectural design? Unlike athletic events, where times and distances provide clear winners, art is inherently subjective. Judges struggled with criteria, and debates about artistic merit often overshadowed the competitions themselves. Additionally, many submissions failed to meet the sport-inspired theme requirement, creating further complications. There was another problem brewing beneath the surface: the question of amateurism. The Olympic movement at that time was strictly amateur. Athletes couldn't be professionals or receive payment for their sport. But what about artists? Most competing artists were professionals who sold their work for a living. Painters had galleries, composers earned royalties, architects ran firms. This created a fundamental contradiction. How could the Olympics maintain amateur status for athletes while awarding medals to professional artists? By the 1940s, the International Olympic Committee recognized these contradictions were becoming untenable. The debates intensified after World War II, when the Olympics resumed in 1948 in London. That year would be the last time art competitions appeared in the Olympic program. The IOC voted to discontinue them, citing the professionalism issue as the primary reason, though the subjective judging and declining participation also played roles. However, the Olympic connection to art didn't disappear entirely. Starting in 1952, the Olympics replaced competitions with exhibitions. Artists were still invited to showcase sport-inspired works, but no medals were awarded. These exhibitions continue today as the Cultural Olympiad, a program celebrating art, music, dance, and culture alongside the athletic competitions. Cities hosting the Games incorporate massive cultural festivals featuring local and international artists. So while art is no longer competitive, it remains an integral part of the Olympic experience. Looking back, those 36 years produced some remarkable achievements. Over 150 medals were awarded across the 5 artistic disciplines. Some works have been lost to history, while others remain in museums and private collections. The legacy of Olympic art competitions reminds us that human excellence takes many forms, and the line between physical and creative achievement isn't always clear. The story raises fascinating questions about what we value in competition and how we define excellence. Pierre de Coubertin believed the ancient Olympic ideal combined body and mind, athlete and artist. For a brief moment in history, the modern Olympics attempted to recapture that holistic vision. While it ultimately proved impractical, the experiment reflects something deeper about human aspiration, the desire to celebrate all forms of greatness under one banner. Today, when we watch the Olympics, we focus entirely on athletic performance. But imagine if art competitions had continued. Would we see contemporary painters competing alongside swimmers? Would composers create opening ceremony pieces as official events? Would architects design Olympic venues as medal contenders? It's an intriguing alternate history that reminds us how differently things could have evolved. The Olympic art competitions represent a unique chapter in both sports and cultural history. They show us that innovation sometimes means reaching backward to ancient traditions, trying to adapt timeless ideals to modern contexts. While this particular experiment ended, it left an indelible mark on how we think about the Olympics, not just as athletic competitions, but as celebrations of human achievement in all its diverse forms. If you enjoyed learning about this forgotten Olympic history, give this video a thumbs up and share it with someone who loves surprising facts. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications for more incredible stories from history. What do you think? Should art competitions return to the Olympics? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.